Good afternoon and welcome to Rubbing Minds. My name is Isabella Akinshe. Before we start the program, please be aware of coronavirus. Make sure you check yourself for symptoms. If you feel strange and having any of the symptoms, please report yourself to a primary health care. Please see the medical personnel and get assessed, especially for people coming into the country. It's so important that we put health as our priority. Now, on today's show, we'll be looking at how STEM education, how science and technology can drive the economy, can really create jobs and indeed revolutionize us here in Nigeria. I'm not alone today. I have with me Inyoma Anaba, Group Head Corporate Marketing, Interswitch Group. Inyoma, welcome to Rubbing Minds.
Thank you very much, Isabella. Thank you for having me.
So we'll go straight into it when we look at STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I mean, there are studies, there's a lot of research out there saying that 50% of jobs by the year 2030 will be STEM-based. So that means if we're going to prepare a Nigerian population to be able to get these jobs, then we have to pay attention to STEM. What's your view on STEM and STEM education?
Okay, so I'll just pick up on that data you dropped there, and I'll drop another data. So according to PwC, by 2030, 60% of the population will be under 25. What does that mean? It means that they are going to be, that these people we're talking about, they are 15 today. They are 15 today, so they are in your SS2, SS1, some of them are probably in SS3. So those are the ones that we need to focus on, because by 2030, what kind of world will we be living in? Today, you hear about the driverless cars, you hear about AI, you hear about robots. There are people that are building robots. There are people that are manufacturing meat from plants. So there are so many things that technology is driving today. So the question is, who is preparing these young ones for that automated future? In fact, so today, you can even see it today. Give a 1-year-old a smartphone and immediately they can navigate through it. They know the icon for YouTube, they know the icon for Google. So you see that they are learning at a faster pace than we ever did. So the question is, who is preparing them? And that is where STEM comes in. Why is STEM important? Because STEM helps to develop the analytical skills, the creative minds that you need to survive in that world in 10 years' time. And that's basically why STEM is very important.
So we know that Nigeria, for a long time, has depended on one export, and that's oil, the black gold. But that's the 90s. Now we're in the 2020s. And people will argue that tech is the new oil. Tech is here to stay. Do you believe STEM, that science, technology, engineering, mathematics, can be that new oil for Nigeria? Do you see Nigeria exporting our STEM products instead of just oil?
So let's look at the end product of STEM. So you've talked about oil. The end product of oil is your PMS, your kerosene, your gas, and the likes. So the end product of STEM is a well-grounded individual who has. So when you look at what the World Economic Forum is saying about the top 3 skills that you will need in that world that we both have painted, which is in 2030. So the World Economic Forum has said the top 10 skills. So 3 of them is critical thinking, creative ability, and how to be able to collaborate effectively with others, and creativity. So what does that mean for us when we talk about STEM? STEM is able to develop your mind to be able to think critically, be a bit more analytical, and be creative, and be able to solve problems. So when we look at this is the end product, then we can say that this is how we need to start packaging the end product to start exporting. Now, let me also drop this here.
Go on.
Part of the things that drove us as an industry to start looking at how we can begin to cultivate the next generation is also this export that you have talked about. So we have a developers academy where we bring in young graduates and train them on coding. The ones that excel, we keep them, and the ones that we can actually release into, so to speak, into the market space to go and thrive, we release into the market. So we need to start looking at the end product of STEM. So STEM itself, it's a means to an end.
Yes, and you talked about how they'll be more employable by being analytical, by being logical, by being creative, and
being
STEM,
problem solvers.
and being problem solvers. And these are jobs that maybe 20 years, 30 years didn't exist, but because technology is rapidly expanding and changing the way we do life, then we need to be able to prepare students for that. So let's look at Interswitch Group. So one of your CSR initiatives is looking at STEM education, and I'm talking about the Interswitch SPAK 2.0. Why did you see it as an important investment in education, targeting SS2 students, in Nigerian schools to be involved in STEM education?
So when you look at Interswitch as a company, we started off by solving problems. I call them indigenous problems. I don't like to use the word local. So we saw a problem in Nigeria, and we are solving that problem using indigenous talent. So that's basically our core as Interswitch, and that is what we have started doing with trying to solve the problems that we've seen in education, in the tech industry itself, and that is how we have arrived at Interswitch SPAK. So what is Interswitch SPAK? It's a national science competition for SS2 students, and like I had said earlier, if 60% of the population by 2030 is going to be 25, if 60% of the population
now
are under 25 by 2030, they are going to be 15 now. So we are saying, can we focus on these 15 years old who are going to live in a world that is technology-based, that is automated, and Interswitch is smack in the middle of technology. So we are saying, how do we begin to spark up the interest in STEM amongst these young ones? And that's why we have said, that's why we have implemented Interswitch SPAK. So it's a national science competition, and it's not just about it being the competition. It's also about the process of preparing for that competition. So we have other elements to it beyond it being a competition on TV. So there's the innovation challenge where we bring them into groups, and then we have one or two Interswitch staff mentor them, and they come up with solutions to inherent problems that we have in Nigeria.
Which is at the core of what Interswitch Group does,
Exactly.
Because it's those indigenous problems that you're preparing them with the skills to become problem solvers. So now, using a competition, that's games, do you feel that it changes that perception of STEM? Because a lot of people think science, technology is too hard, but when they see a game, they're thinking, oh, that's cool. So do you feel that Interswitch SPAK 2.0 has sparked up people's interest and passion to go down that line of STEM?
Absolutely. So I think Nigerians are highly competitive, and that's understandable. We are almost 200 million people, so everybody is racing towards something. So creating that environment of competition also helps to build them. So they are having fun in an educative environment. So it's learning, it's education, and it's entertainment all wrapped in one. So let me give you an example. So the innovation challenge, I was in the group for the kids, and they were all the time they were asking, so who won, who won, who won? So that whole competitive nature is also coming out. Now, the interesting thing is, during the process of preparing for the competition, they are learning. They are getting skills, they are improving themselves. So when you see them when they came in and when at the end of the competition, they are totally different people.
And that'll be a good place for us to see. We had 81 people come into this competition. Now there are 9 finalists, and now you get to meet them.
Yeah, with you, don't just stand there teasing me. With a new generation on the rise, buzzing with ideas and ready to innovate, I'm joined by some of Nigeria's finest, from Ogun State to Rivers State to Abuja to Lagos. They are my guests today, and they're the finalists for the Interswitch SPAK 2.0 TV quiz show. Let's have conversations with them. We're joined by 4 of the top 9 finalists of the Interswitch SPAK 2.0 competition, and let's get to meet them. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Adeoyin Damola from JC Memorial College, Rivers State.
My name is Messi Tayo from Futa Staff Secondary School, Akure.
Fantastic.
My name is Colin Olabi from Ibolo Academy, Militia.
I'm Akiyemi Jabira from the Ambassador's College, Ota.
Fantastic. The finale of the Interswitch SPAK 2.0 TV quiz show happens on the 8th of February. And for you, Damola, how excited are you about that?
I'm a bit anxious about the whole thing because anything can go wrong. So I'm not really looking forward to it, but I'm just like thrilled about it.
What about you, Dabira?
I'm excited and a little bit confident.
Why confident? You think you're going to win it? Or you're sure you're going to win it?
I hope to.
How much of an experience has this competition been for you?
I think it has been very insightful, especially the innovation challenge, because I was able, it got me engaged in something that I don't think I would do in my free time. And it's something that I've been able to tell people about and even write about for university applications. So I really think it helped me a lot.
So what is it that you innovated?
The topic was how to make the unbanked Nigerians, like how to give them financial services. So we basically brought up a platform called Universal Virtual Bank that basically runs on USSD code so that it can reach out to guys in the rural areas and semi-urban areas, and also use agents to enlighten people that are unbanked about the benefits of being financially included and banked.
So what do you think, how do you think this thing that you've innovated, this service that you've created would help banking in Nigeria?
I think it really helped banking because a lot of people in Nigeria, like a large percent of Nigerians are unbanked, either because they don't trust the bank or they just don't know about the benefits of keeping money in a bank. So I really think it will help them get the benefits of digitized money, and because the crime rate in Nigeria is relatively high if you compare it to countries that are like banked. So if you want to rob a house but you don't really see tangible money, you are going to waste your time. That's because your money is in the bank. So if a lot of Nigerians can be financially included, I really think it will help them.
So Mercy, what did you create?
I was in Team Jupiter and we worked on the electoral process in Nigeria, and we were able to create an initiative that has to do with elimination of PVCs and usage of the NIN to vote and register.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dabira, Belumi, Mercy, and Damola. So it's been an amazing time having conversations with this finalist, 4 of the top 9 finalists of the Interswitch SPAK 2.0. Let's quickly get to know them. What's your name?
My name is Arela John from Ibolo Academy.
Fantastic. What's yours?
Ojulu Atobi from App Scholars, Universal College, Ogun State.
What's your name?
My name is Jao Debra from Lagoon Secondary School, Lekki.
What's your name?
Ademiji Abdurrahman from ADS Comprehensive College.
And what's yours?
Madam Mary Kash from Scholars Universal Secondary School, Ogun State.
Fantastic. So I believe we'll all have favorite subjects. So let's get your favorite subject. What's your favorite subject?
Math.
What's yours?
Chemistry.
Chemistry.
What are some of your favorite books? Because being a finalist, when you realized that you were going to be in this competition, you had to brush up your knowledge on maths, biology, and chemistry, and others. So what are some of your favorite books that helped you prepare for the competition?
I loved some past questions by Wyack and John, and new school physics.
For physics, I use college physics, and for chemistry, I use chemistry context.
Damola, what do you have to say to Interswitch?
I would like to say thank you to Interswitch for giving me this wonderful opportunity to utilize my talents and skills to impact Nigeria positively.
Fantastic, impacting Nigeria positively, which is truly important. So, Deborah, what do you think? What would you like to say to Interswitch?
I also want to thank Interswitch for making this opportunity available to students in Nigeria and emphasizing the importance of science in the development of Nigeria.
The importance of science in the development of Nigeria.
How do you feel watching these finalists? Obviously, they've grown from a process of 81, now coming down to the final 9. Beyond just the STEM, how do you see their growth on the show?
So it's actually very rewarding because when they come in, some of them are shy, some of them are a bit, what would I say, how would you, introverted. But that's the reason why we have developed other segments of the competition. So there is a master class where we have people coming to tell them about how it is in the workplace and to basically inspire them to think in a different way. Then we have the innovation challenge, and all this happens before the TV quiz competition. Now, this is important because we need to also come out with a well-grounded student, not just a bookie. But, you know, like I said earlier about the top 3 skills, you have to have critical analysis. You have to also be able to solve problems. But above all, you have to be able to interact with others and collaborate. So those are some of the things that we build into the program.
So their interpersonal skills are being developed, their confidence, they're better able to articulate themselves.
Exactly.
And like you mentioned, masterclass, they can see what a career in STEM looks like. And with the innovation challenge, they're encouraged to come up with solutions for indigenous problems. So now, on the 8th of February 2020, is the D-Day. We have the final episode of the Interswitch SPAK 2.0. And going by that, there's a lot to be looking forward to. Can you give us a sneak peek?
Yes, it's always very exciting and nerve-wracking because the students are nervous. Some of them don't eat, they don't smile. They're just everybody's focused on the 7.5 million naira first prize, even though there are other prizes. I mean, there's 4 million and there's 1 million or 1.5 million for the third prize.
And these are scholarship funds to help with their education.
To help them with their education, absolutely.
And what about the schools? Do they win anything?
So the teachers are also given, so we have looked at how we can also train the teachers for STEM. So we extend that to the teachers, to the top 3 teachers as well. So they get trainings in STEM education.
Thank you very much. I know I can't wait to see the finals. And thanks for sharing about Interswitch SPAK 2.0. That was Enyoma Anaba, Group Head, Corporate Marketing, Interswitch Group.